And now that Josh has left us with the gaming news, we are on to the nerd news network.
Yes,
Um, we've got a fair bit to get through here.
we have.
No tiny bits of news here. This is all pretty sizable. Pretty
Yeah,
got a bit of bite to it. So we got the Joker a Folie et Deux trailer.
we did.
Did you watch it?
I have.
I have some thoughts.
Okay,
I'm gonna try and stay
hit me
positive.
with them.
I fucking love the trailer. I think the film looks really, really good.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, my Twitter, which has so long been in the comic book space
Mm.
and the comic book medium space, has accidentally slipped into film bro Twitter a bit too much. So I just had a bunch of people quote retweeting people's excited tweets about the trailer, going, "You can watch actual films. I promise you'll like them too." And to
Yeah,
them,
you
I only
really
have
have
one thing
slipped
to
into film
say.
bros.
Yeah. And it had me rewatching the trailer, doubting my own opinion. And you know me, like, I have a lot of faults. One of them is when I form my opinion, I'm pretty, like, not like unmovable on it because that's not how you grow as a person, but I trust my own opinion.
Mm.
And I rewatched it. I'm like, am I missing something here? This looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But there has been some kind of changing of history over the last 4 years because apparently Joker has gone from being one of the best R-rated films ever to being a steaming pile of garbage. Because I remember Film Bro Twitter fucking loved Joker.
Oh well, film bros flip flop all over the place.
But
Do
I
you
was
know
just
what's?
sat there and I literally rewatched it like 2 times. I'm like, I'm missing something here. Lady Gaga looks phenomenal in the role.
Mm.
Joaquin Phoenix is an incredibly talented actor. This film looks lit.
It does. And do you know what's funny? Like, my Twitter was the complete opposite. It was people, I saw like at least two people tweet this of like shots from the final moment when he's in the prison glass thing and she draws the face and it's like the camera, like the camera action to line the smile up and then he comes in focus and he smiles. It's just people going, okay, cinema's back. This is cinema doing shit like this. And it's like,
That's the funny thing.
people are
I
excited.
saw a lot of them tweets, but then what I was getting people quote retweeting that, going, "You can watch actual cinema."
Oh, then people
And
are
I'm
just
like,
dumb.
what? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you want art to be? Where art has
Zack
to fit
Schneider.
into a little box? It's like you want art to fit in this little box, so you can be a pretentious asshole about it. But art inherently doesn't fit in a little box. I don't get what they want. Yes, I get
Just
comic
don't
books.
try and get what they
Yeah,
want.
I get the
It's a
comic
better
book
life.
movies. I get these comic book movies have become like $1 billion industry,
Mm,
multi-billion-dollar industry. So inherently, you get a little bit worried about it becoming quite corporate and soulless.
yeah.
But there is actually, at its raw form, nothing more pure art and storytelling than comic books. I will die on that fucking hill. And taking it and doing an artistic interpretation of it, which the Joker, first Joker, and this one looks like it's doing the artistic take on it better
Mm-hmm.
than a lot of other superhero films do. This film should appeal to a really wide audience.
Do you know what's funny? I was watching the trailer and I was like, right, so when are they going to break out into song? Because obviously we got like this build up of it. It's going to be a big musical and there's all these songs. And then I actually think it's not, I feel like they let people go a bit crazy with their theories on that on purpose. And it's not actually going to be as wild as
Yeah,
we're building ourselves up to expect.
I think there's a lot of music used, but I
Mm.
don't think they sing at any point.
Yeah, I don't think it's like sudden break out into song in the middle of the street
Yeah,
singing
it's a
about
lot
getting bread.
more. Yeah, it's a lot more. They hear the music in their head as like a backing track to what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I imagine it would be like Joker's crazy, so he starts essentially hearing music to what he's doing. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the trailer. I thought it was looked really good, and like you say, everyone looks great in their roles. The little like theme things of like of Arkham Hotel and like how they like thematically doing Gotham in this world, I think is really well done. Um,
I I know Lady Gaga is a phenomenal singer,
Mm-hmm.
a phenomenal songwriter, a phenomenal performer.
Mm.
I don't know what she knows about cameras. um, I know she did a phenomenal job in A Star Is Born, the film she did with Bradley
Yes.
Cooper, and she's done some other bits where she was very successful. I believe one was there was one of the film about the fashion world. I forget what it was called. Had like Adam Driver and stuff in it. It was massive. It might have been a Gucci film or something.
Maybe.
It was a drama. Apparently, she was amazing in that. There might be real conversation that she is one of the most talented human beings that have existed during our lifetime. With some of the songwriting she's done, some of the singing she's done, the production she's done, and her filmography that she's putting together, as well as her having solid performances
Mm-hmm.
in a number of different like acting styles. It's not like she's playing the same character over and over again. If she is really, really good as Harley, she might be like
Oh yeah, the
the
range
great.
of what her like creative ability.
Taylor Swift could never.
Do you know what would be wild is if we get Poker Face as a song in this film?
Do you know what though? I think it probably could work in a really good way.
Well, no, yeah, it could like be funny to the audience because we're like, haha, they're using her own song when it's not her. But also, yeah, there's probably a way that it could actually really work in the film.
The creators behind
I
the
saw
Batman
this.
Beyond animated project, that also worked on the Spider-Verse films.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously they're trying to get support behind to get it off the ground. They're getting meetings
Yeah,
with DC and stuff.
they shared some pictures a little while back that got everyone
Yeah.
very excited.
So they released some test footage to their YouTube. I need it, man.
They're taking a page out of Ryan Reynolds' book.
It looks so. Obviously, there's no voice acting because they don't have the budget to hire or cast a voice actor, and at that point, it become a real film. At which point, DC could sue them. But the animation and like the bits of sound design they did to give it some atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Horrig, I need it. I need it.
Honestly,
since we started this podcast, I've been give me Batman Beyond. I want some Batman Beyond in my life. This is it.
There's like something so good about that studio style that they've dialed in with Spider-Verse that just works so well with this.
Absolutely.
And it's like getting to see it, like, don't get me wrong, the stills we saw had us hyped already, and we're both would love this project to actually be a thing. And the fact that those alone got Warner Brothers to go from a hard no to a maybe, I would be shocked of the fan reception to this that Warner Brothers don't now go to a okay, write us a script or like come up with an actual pitch for this and we will listen. It's not a yes yet, but like, okay, you have test footage, the fans want it, we know you did Spider-Verse and you've got a proven track record there. Like, okay, maybe we'll listen now. Because that little just flight sequence of him taking off and it showing off like how they would show off some of his gadgetry and his suit and like just the way of movement and everything in the animation, it looked so good.
I'd like it a lot.
I would as well.
Do you reckon I can learn an American accent and get them to cast me as Ted McGinn? Maybe. Who knows? The Fallout show. We've been discussing it recently over the trailers and stuff.
We have.
They did the thing we hate. They dropped it all in one go.
Well, I don't mind, but
I dislike. You know my feelings about binge content. I
but
think it's
we
bad
both
for the
have
world.
different schedules that I have time for binge watching.
I like binging stuff, but I think it's bad for.
No, yeah, I get you.
But it's here. We're gonna watch it all for next week's episode, so we'll give a review of the entire season next week.
Unfortunately, we couldn't watch all 8 episodes in like 2 hours.
Since like midnight last night,
Yeah.
Apparently it's good though.
Yeah, I've heard good things so far.
I've seen some good reviews from places like Discussing Film and IGN. I know IGN aren't really trustworthy, but it's always interesting to see what they've got to say. Should
Yeah,
we see what Rotten Tomatoes has got it at so far?
from like what I've seen on Twitter of some people that have started to watch it, everyone seems to be speaking positively. So
Fallout.
I'm taking
Why
that as
can't I just see its score?
it's not a flop. So hopefully that means it's more
Okay,
on like The Last of
so
Us.
the critic review on 67 critic reviews, it's currently on 93%. And on 100 plus audience scores, it's currently at 85%. That's pretty good.
Okay.
The critics' consensus is an adaptation that feels like a true extension of the games. Fallout is a post apocalyptic blast for newcomers and longtime fans alike. Well, there we go then. There we go. So, I mean, we like the look of it. There was a couple of bits we were concerned about, as is very natural with video game adaptations, because although they're getting better, there's still a lot of room to mess it up. But the consensus so far is good. So, I mean, we'll see. If it's really easy for us to binge it, it probably means it's good.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, if there is any of the issues that we were worried about with it being like too heavy on game references or something, hopefully if there is any of that stuff, it's not as big of an issue as we worried. So then it kind of balances out a lot, and it actually does feel like a good show.
Exactly. So.
Another
yeah,
show.
this is an interesting one. This is a really interesting one. Hollywood Reporter have claimed that a live action R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin movie is in the works.
Something that was talked about a while back, I feel, but it got shelved.
Yes, we're also getting a game, which is The Last Ronin. My only concern is if these come out at the same time and they've done slightly different versions of the story, or the exact same version, it could feel like, why is everything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all of a sudden so dark and sad?
I get what you mean.
But conceptually, this sounds fun.
Yeah, no, it does. I think I'd prefer if it was animated. There's something about, while the more modern live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff wasn't terrible, it still has this like kind of weird, uncanny thing with it being live action. Like I just imagine it was like the animated one style of what the recent movie.
Yeah, but I feel like the animated style of the recent movie wouldn't convey the seriousness quite as well.
I don't know. I reckon you can.
But yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how that develops. The really interesting thing is the fact that this story's got so popular recently.
Yeah.
I'd been aware of it, but I'd never viewed it as like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story. But now it seems like a lot of people want to adapt it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because we've had a rise like in the last 5 years where people are like, oh, we enjoy these like darker, gritty, R-rated stories, and like, oh well, this generation grew up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so look what we have for you. But
yeah,
could be cool.
Not wrong. I mean, if it comes out, I'll see it. But obviously, it being in the works doesn't mean we'll ever actually get released.
No, it doesn't.
Deadline has reported that mid-2000s show Heroes is apparently getting a sequel series. Did you ever watch this, Harry?
I'm trying to remember. Okay, so like I could visualize the title like logo.
Yeah.
I think I saw bits of it, but I never properly watched it.
Okay, so Hero Season 1 is a masterpiece.
Right.
After that, you're watching Chasing the High of Season 1. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Okay.
But the universe they built for it was very, very good. The problem was they got a bit into time travel and stuff, and it fucks
Got
stuff
messy.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the mid 2000s, writers really struggled with how to do time travel. I know it's not much better today, but I feel like that if they know they can't write it, they stay well away, and if they feel confident enough, they do an okay job.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I wouldn't be against this. I really liked it. They did such an interest. The superpowers were really niche and a bit weird.
Yeah,
And
that's what I remember about it.
cool. So I forget the actor's name. He became a superstar. He played Spock in the Star Trek remake.
Oh. I can picture who it is. I can't remember.
I've just typed Star Trek cast and expected to get who I'm thinking of. 2009 cast. Zachary Quinto? Yeah, Zachary Quinto. So he played the bad guy in it. And his superpower was when he saw something, he understood how it worked.
Pretty cool.
And in the rules of the writing, what that allowed him to do was he essentially became a serial killer. And he would kill someone with powers, dissect their brain, understand how their brain worked, and as a result of that, he would get their superpower.
That's wild.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which is such a weird way to do a power stealing storyline.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving this man the ability to steal people's power, they're like, no, he opens up their skull, looks at their brain,
Does surgery.
And his brain then knows how to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, like, basically, his entire thing is collecting these powers. And you've got another dude, I think it's an artist, who is essentially like a prophet, who keeps on getting caught in a loop of doing art that's essentially save the teenager, save the world.
Got you.
And then you've got an Asian dude who can travel in time, but he has very little control over it. That's where the problems kind of came in. In season 1, it wasn't too messy, but after a while it got messy.
Yeah.
The main dude was a guy who could, similar to Rogue actually, he could borrow people's power.
Right.
But it didn't hurt them, and he didn't really know how it worked for a long time.
Got you.
It turns out he just kind of needs to like touch them, and until he touches someone else with power, he can use their power.
Got you.
And then there was this teenage girl whose power was she was basically invincible, I'm pretty sure. So the whole point was, as long as you save the teenage girl from the killer,
yeah,
he's beatable because he won't be invincible.
Got you. Yeah,
but once he kills her and becomes invincible,
yeah,
we're
you're screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good. And if they think they can do a good sequel series, I'd be so down because it was such an interesting take on superheroes.
Yeah, it depends, like, if they choose to wreck on anything or try and, like, if they can get the writing down that makes sense and is compelling, then yeah, could be good.
More superhero TV show news. The Boys season 4 is 100% finished, according to the showrunner Eric Kripke.
Very exciting.
It's done. It's good. We're good to go.
So ready to watch Homelander sell golden sneakers
to fund his legal defense. Because that is so ridiculous, it could only happen in a TV show.
Honestly.
It's going to be good.
I'm very excited and see one, like how Gen V led into it and what they use from that, and then where it kind of leads into the next season of Gen V. All
My
tying
pessimistic take.
Go on.
bearing in mind nothing stays good forever, my pessimistic take is this is the last good season of The Boys.
I don't know, because the world keeps giving them great content to use.
It
so.
does. It does.
And I don't think the world's going to stop doing that anytime soon.
I think the cracks are going to start to show a little bit. And then by like the time the next season is done and out, people are going to be
maybe
slightly over this style of content.
I think season 5 could be that's season 5. Pushing past that, you do then get into the dangerous territory of every season will get compared to the previous ones, and if you're not staying at least the same level, it all collapses very quickly.
Yeah.
So
this has me hyped as fuck, this next one.
Yes.
Hollywood Reporter confirms that Andor writer Bo Willimon will co-write Dawn of the Jedi movie. He was behind Stellan Skarsgård's iconic speech and the majority of the Narkina 5 arc, which was, of course, the high-security Imperial prison, which happened to be our favourite 2 parts of the fucking show.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm so... Him being part of Dawn of the Jedi just increases my excitement for that. I was already looking forward to getting a new era of Star Wars as a film, high Jedi time, like the start of the Jedi. That's going to be cool. To have such a solid writer that we know like makes great Star Wars writing. Just, this is going to be an ace. It's going to be an ace.
This is such a I want it yesterday moment. Like, no, I want. Where can I buy the ticket for the cinema? I want to go see this film. Yeah. I mean, I've made no small bean about my feelings about them. Then, like that Stellan Skarsgård speech and the entirety of the prison arc. Like, it's some of my favorite Star Wars. Full stop. If they would have just said a member of the Andor writing team is co-writing Dawn of the Jedi, I still would have been hyped. So I'm like, the writing in Andor was class.
Yeah,
awesome.
Andor was great.
But the fact that they specifically gone, yeah, he did them bits. I'm just like, oh yeah, we gone.
Do you know what I reckon it was? They've seen the amount of people that have like shared that speech, shared the prison break speech, and he's like, okay. You're approved. You're Star Wars approved. You know the fans like what you do. I think you did a great job. Come on, you're on all the projects now. Like you've had Dave's stamp of approval.
Going to what we said about Lady Gaga and her range.
I
want to give Stellan Skarsgård a shout out.
Yeah, I mean,
let's just be clear. Just of the stuff I can think he's done off the top of my head, he's done Star Wars, in which he's phenomenal. He was in Marvel, in which he was very good. In June, he cooks. And he's also in Mamma Mia.
What a lad.
Like, Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, I forget he was in Mamma Mia.
He's so good. The dude doesn't miss. He doesn't miss Hori.
He doesn't.
He was in Good Will Hunting. Oh my god.
That family doesn't miss.
He was in Pirates of the Caribbean. He plays Will's dad.
Oh, there
I forgot
you go.
about that. Like, what can this guy not do? He might be the GOAT.
No, I have a bit of bonus news that isn't on this because it sort of came out just before we started the recording of this and kind of seen a bit more since. There is, I forget what's going on at the moment. Is it a Paramount thing going on at the moment? CinemaCon
in Las Vegas. It was the Paramount showcase this evening.
Yeah, so a bunch of teasers got shown as they do and don't get shared, so everyone does like descriptive reporting on them. There's one for the Transformers 1.
Yes, so I heard about this.
Which is an animated Transformers film.
Oh, interesting.
And the first trailer reveals Optimus Prime and Megatron's origins as worker friends before learning how to transform, and it's all like animated. So it's like early days Transformers animated. could be very cool.
We will eagerly await a trailer.
Especially because of how much we've been loving animated content recently. And I've been loving Gundam stuff, so I'm like, animated mechs.
This is a double-edged sword for Transformers, isn't it? Because right now, people have never been more accepting of animated content. Like, the acceptance of it as a legitimate medium has never been higher.
This is true.
But at the same time, the quality is so high that if it's bad, people will just go, the fuck was that?
True.
So it's high risk, high reward. And with Transformers being a cartoon initially that kind of pivoted, and they're coming back to their initial medium now, you really don't want to fuck it up.
No, but I'd love if they probably won't, but I'd love if they've gone to like more newer Gundam series and stuff of like mech animes. See how they do like fight scenes and how they animate that stuff in the modern day, and use that to like take inspiration for like you said, going back to animation, which is what they started in. It could be very cool. So I guess we have to wait and see if that little teaser or whatever gets leaked anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably get released in a couple of weeks or so.
Oh yeah, or released, yeah.
But no, that is very exciting news.